Hi, this is Kevin from Leeds. We're going to do take 2 today. Apparently we had some audio problems yesterday. Today on Leeds Helpful Tips, we're going to talk about a brand new ultra-wide field objective that we have that's really, really cool. And then we're going to show you our quick change kits that would be an applicable accessory to use with these ultra-wide field objectives. So what are the ultra-wide field objectives? It's a lens that we designed to go on the Leeds Discovery, although it does have application on the LCF as well. And it is a ultra-wide field objective with a 0.18x factor. This is to compete with some of the other comparison microscopes that have ultra-wide field optics. But hopefully we've done it a little better with a little bit of a twist. So the first thing is this 0.18x at your lowest magnification on the zoom will produce approximately 1.35x. It's a little bit more magnification than some of our competitors, but because of the large field of view of the Discovery, we're able to actually provide you a bigger final field of view. So our 1.18x objective results in a 1.35 lowest magnification position, but it provides 170 millimeters field of view. Some of the competitors out there, I've heard 162, 166 millimeters. So we've given you even a little bit bigger field of view. In fact, if you look behind me here, and then flop the video over, you can see that we're seeing this whole door jamb all in a single field of view. Okay? Pretty cool. But here's where things get better. Whereas the competitors have a single low power position, we have a low power objective that gets combined with our zoom system. What that means for you is that with this optic in place, I'm going to slide it in place right there, and we'll flip over, so now we're seeing the chisel on this side. I can actually view that chisel all the way from that 1.35x position to a field of view that's 20 times smaller than that, 20 times more magnification, if you will. I'm just going to use the column here to bring us in focus. Okay? And this is parfocal once we get it set up. Zoom from high mag down to low. Again, continuous magnification from 1.35x to 27x. That means when we combine this objective with our standard 1x objective, what you end up with is a continuous zoom from 1.35x all the way out to about 146, 148x. Top end, we see a little variance from one Discovery system to another. So truly, truly unique objective. Now, I don't know if you noticed, normally the objectives are threaded into and out of the microscope body. And you can set up the ultra-wide field and use it exactly like that. But because of the size and the heft of this glass, I worry about somebody dropping it and damaging it. So we have an accessory that can be used with any of our objectives that'll fit on the Discovery or, quite frankly, on the LCF as well. And what it provides you is a, let's call it a female dovetail on the microscope, a dovetail receptacle, if you will. And then it has a dovetail that threads onto the objective itself. Now, rather than trying to get in there and thread this big optic in place, all I need to do, forgive me for sliding in front of the camera on you, is slide that baby into place. What do I do with this objective when I take it out and I want to go to my 1x? Well, you can see it poking around the edge of the microscope there. We'll take a look at it in person here in a little bit. But that's what some people in my office call a garage. Garage to me has got sides all the way around and a garage door. This is more like a carport. But what it provides is a safe place for this objective to rest when it's not being in use. It's covered, so we're not going to get any dust deposited on the top of that objective. And we can quickly exchange between, in this case, the ultra-wide-field objectives and the standard 1x objectives. We recently built a custom LCF for a federal agency, and they have two objectives. They have a 0.5 and a 1x objective. So not the ultra-wide field, but we set them up with the same quick change kit. Now they can quickly change between those two optics and again have an incredibly wide zoom range. So, ultra-wide field objective, right here, and the quick change kit is what we were talking about today. So what I'm going to do now is zoom in on the quick change kit and show you the components that you get. This is the kit that we have for the Discovery, and it provides two dovetail receptacles that go on the microscope, and those are held in place with this little retaining ring. And I don't have it for today's video, but we give you a real neat little tool with it that lines up to these slots and gives you a way to quickly and easily install those two retaining rings. The system then also comes with 4 individual dovetails. So you could have, like I say, we had one recently that was a half-X objective, so we'd have 2 for the half-X objectives, and then 2 more dovetails for the 1X objectives. You certainly can purchase additional dovetails. We've had a customer that has had up to 3 different objectives in the past, and with the addition of the ultra-wide field, I think if they were buying a microscope today, they would probably buy all 4 from us. They literally have an ultra-wide field, a half-X, a 1X, and I forget whether it's a 1.5 or a 1.6. So, dovetail receptacles, dovetails for your objectives. This is what I was referring to earlier as a carport. Like I say, some people call it a garage. This hangs on the rear post of the microscope, and the objectives slide into this dovetail receptacle right here. Basically mirrors the dovetail receptacle that you have mounted to the microscope. Now, the position of this carport's held in place with this thumb screw, hand screw, whatever we want to call it. Problem with that is that if somebody lowered it, or loosened it, forgive me, that whole thing could come flying down and we could wreck the objectives. So the system also comes with what we call a drop prevention collar. This gets tightened onto that rear column with an Allen wrench, and it should reside, where are we? Right here below the carport. And what's going to happen there is that way if somebody does loosen that hand screw in the back, the system's resting on this drop prevention collar, which is securely tightened in place, and therefore we don't have any crisis or problems. So that's the complete kit that you get. The kit is different for the LCF in that the dovetail receptacles that go on the microscope, I believe, bolt in place or are held in place with screws as opposed to a retaining ring. And then the carport is black, matching the highlights on the LCF, and blue for the Discovery, matching the blue highlights on there. So a real neat ultra-wide field objective, great addition to your microscope that's going to allow us to go from a very low magnification all the way out to a very high magnification. Number one, provides something that's competitive to the other products that are out there, but in the end is superior because we're going to give you a complete 20x zoom range out of that ultra low power objective. And then of course, if you want the quick change kit, hopefully that makes it a little quicker and easier for you to switch between objectives and also assures that hopefully we don't have one accidentally dropped and damaged. So there we are for the day. Please stop in next week and see Jake's next helpful tips.